Christina Gutierrez was a criminal defense attorney based out of Baltimore, Maryland. She represented many high-profile defendants in the 1990s and was the first Latina to be counsel in a case before the Supreme Court of the United States. She sounds like an inspirational, strong, righteous lawyer and woman, right? Wrong.
Was justice served to Adnan's side with Gutierrez as his lawyer? I'll let you decide.
First, Gutierrez told Adnan at the time that she had investigated the alibi witness, but, quote, nothing came of it, quote. She tells him, Asia McClain, the main and only alibi witness, states in many circumstances that Gutierrez never even contacted her. Even Kate Stetson, another defense attorney, during court proceedings of Adnan's case, says, quote, you can't make a reasonable decision about what trial strategy you're going to engage in without calling an alibi witness and asking if that testimony is going to help your case, quote.
Gutierrez never cross-examined the prosecution's cell phone tower expert in court, which provides evidence that placed him at the crime scene using cell phone tower records. This could be argued as forgetfulness, pure laziness, or she may have had a reason not to do this, but the reason is very unclear and seems almost like a mistake.
Gutierrez, however, passed away in 2004 from a heart attack. She was 52, her obituary states. Gutierrez had been suffering from sclerosis, a medical condition that covers nerve fibers and causes communication problems between your brain and the rest of your body. Eventually, the disease can cause permanent damage or deterioration of the nerves. Some speculate this disease may have impacted her performance in Syed's case. Quote, she was ill, end quote. Dwight Petit states, a Baltimore criminal defense attorney and former associate of Gutierrez's, quote, she was in some type of physical or mental distress, which is the only thing that I could surmise that she was not performing at her normal level of competency, end quote.
The medical issues kind of make sense. Back up part of the reason why she would have failed Adnan in this case. Many articles and sources state, such as Oxygen, a true crime buzz website, that in her, quote, heyday, Gutierrez was one of the Baltimore's most notorious, prolific, controversial criminal defense lawyers. Gutierrez defended a vast variety of defendants, all different kinds of convictions. Gutierrez was well known for having the, if you want to win, you're going to pay mindset and aura. She was a near-famous lawyer, and she was a good one too. And that's why when you talk about how she may or may not have failed Adnan as his attorney, many say she didn't, because all she was known for was being a high-quality, superior criminal defense lawyer.
Interestingly enough, Gutierrez was actually disbarred in 2001 following allegations she drained a trust account containing client funds, mixing client and personal money, which would not only make her an unreliable source, but make her seem like a bad lawyer in Adnan's defense. Her son spoke to Oxygen.com, stating that he first noticed early signs of her illness in the late 90s, which was before she took Adnan's case. Her son Roberto even says, quote, if my mom didn't give him a good defense, I hope he gets a good defense, quote. He also states, quote, if there is evidence in the trial that wasn't brought up, I think Syed should definitely get a retrial, quote.
Maryland's Court of Appeals agreed that Gutierrez was, quote, deficient for the fact that she did not look into an alibi witness, McClain, but the court disagreed that it would not have had any impact whatsoever in the ruling of his case. The court also ruled that Adnan waived his right to raise an ineffective counsel claim.
Gutierrez says to Sun, a reporting source, that, quote, since I can't defend myself against anything and I can't practice anyway, I decided to sign the consent, quote.
Gutierrez also made a mistake in a case in the 1990s against John Joseph Merzbacher, the Catholic school teacher accused of child rape. Gutierrez failed to offer him a 10-year plea deal, and the mistake nearly set him free, according to the Baltimore Sun. An appellate had to step in to correct the issue.
Now we're back to Miss McClain. It's very unclear why Gutierrez decided to pursue one investigative path over another, and although the record is silent whether Asia was contacted or not, Asia and many others, such as Rabia, claim she was never contacted about being the main and only alibi witness in the case for Adnan. And here's Rabia speaking on how CG never contacted Asia and how she believes that she failed Adnan.
The attorney didn't do her job, right? I mean, like in a murder case where there's no forensic evidence, which is what happened here, there's not a shred of physical evidence tying Adnan to the murder, even though they tore up his house, tore up his car, tested everything they could. They found nothing to match him. All they had was a witness, a really terrible witness, by the way. And so the testimony of a really credible alibi witness would have probably gotten him, acquitted.
Many Reddit users go back and forth arguing that the fact that Gutierrez did the best that she could, or Gutierrez was ineffective. You can form your own opinion, even Sarah and Serial. Most would side with her, just listening to her pure empathy of Adnan.
Here is just one of many clips of Cristina Gutierrez cross-examining Adnan in the trial. You can see how disrespectfully she speaks to her own client.
Morning, and you told me a different set of information that would confirm that yes, the answer to my question is yes, I was not telling the truth. Is it not?
Yes.
So you would have me believe that you had two separate sets of information, which means that
Gutierrez's handling of the cell phone records evidence is absolutely preposterous, and that's just one example. The judge literally accused her of being a liar because she said that she had never seen the cell phone records. She said in court, quote, "I agreed to the administration of the cell phone records because I did not care. Ellipses, I had not read them. Judge, other members of my team may have," end quote. It didn't stop here. Gutierrez had very, very many different statements from Jay that many think could have been easily torn apart. Jay was incredible, and so were his stories. Jay was unreliable, and on both sides, the defending and opposing, there's no reason that Asia should not have been called also. Some say it was just pure laziness on Gutierrez's part. I know what I think, but whether or not Gutierrez committed a malpractice on Adnan's case, that's up for the decision of your own. The next few seconds are a clip of Rabia speaking on Adnan and how she found out that he has been arrested as a suspect.
Adnan comes up, and I shot up out of the sofa. I'm like, what is Adnan's picture doing on the television? Because I know Adnan, and I know his parents because they live a couple streets down the street, down the neighborhood from my parents. And it was shocking. And, there's still footage on YouTube. It's terrible footage of me, but terrible footage of me and my mother going to Adnan's house that evening, trying to talk to his parents to see if there's anything we could do. He had been taken out of bed at 5 a.m. and arrested for her murder.